Hello everyone, welcome to the Human Reviews channel, and today we are listening to Spirit of Eden by Talk Talk. You might remember last year we covered Laughing Stock, which that album is a fucking masterpiece. I still think it's a 10 to this day. It holds up perfectly, one of the most emotional, dense, layered, just gut-wrenching experiences you can have with an album. I actually listened to it just before I went live and started recording, and it's... Again, like I was on the verge of tears when I got to Ascension Day, dude. That song and that entire album, to be honest, is just such an impactful experience and one that is so special to me. And considering the fact that Spirit of Eden has roughly the same reception, like it's just as positive across the board, I'm going into this thing with ridiculously high expectations. I am expecting this to be the best shit ever. This album came out in 1988. It's 6 songs, 40 minutes. Laughing Stock's also 6 songs, isn't it? Yeah, Laughing Stock's also 6 songs, 40 minutes, sorry. Yeah, similar album cover to Laughing Stock as well, with all the birds and the creatures on the tree. Yeah, I'm very interested going into this one. I've heard 2 of the songs on here. I've heard Eden and I Believe in You. I was sent those in on music submission streams like a while ago, so I don't really remember them all that well. Yeah, one was sent in December and the other one was sent in September, and I've not really returned to the songs all that much. So I'm going into this thing fairly blind, not remembering the songs I've heard and not having heard anything else. And with that being said, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to get straight into this shit. Track 1, The Rainbow. Sign it off with a 9-minute song. Yeah, this is starting off way more subtle than I was expecting. I mean, Laughing Stock is also, well, it has its subtle moments, but I was expecting something a little more immediate. I don't mind this, though. Never mind. Oh, shit, okay. Incredible guitar tone indeed, even getting some fucking harmonica in here as well. That's how you know it's a masterpiece when there's harmonica. Oh, these vocals are really different. Wow. Whoa. This immediately kind of has all of the same magic that Laughing Stock had, where it's able to be so easy on the ears, but it's still so immersive. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what makes me love post-rock so much, is how rewarding it is for patience. And Talk Talk are just like one of the bands that does it best, honestly. It really is, yeah. And the fact that they're blending in like elements of jazz rock as well. Like the sound of their music is just like right up my alley. Damn. What a way to kick this off. Damn, fucking crazy transition as well. Okay, pretty incredible way to start. Yeah, that was gorgeous. Yeah, it feels like it has the same magic that I was feeling on Laughing Stock, where it's able to be, again, so immersive. It's able to be so long, and you can feel the length in a good way. It feels like you're getting even more than 9 minutes worth of content in a 9-minute song. And I think the biggest thing that I'm appreciating about this is the subtlety. With Laughing Stock, you get a lot of these big, explosive moments that are just so overbearing and overwhelming in all the best ways possible. I mean, I think that album's a 10. But here, you don't really get that. You get moments of high intensity. You get the louder sections of the song where you have lots of different layers sort of piling on top of each other to create these big, massive emotional moments instrumentally, but they aren't too overbearing. They still feel subtle. They still feel very intentionally restrained, and I fucking love that. I kind of like that more than Merman. Merman's an incredible opener to Laughingstock, but I kind of prefer the Rainbow as an opener. I would give that a 10. We're at peak glaze already. Starting off the album with a 10, we are at the maximum glaze. But it's deserved glaze. Most tracks are 10s here. Hey, I'm expecting this shit to be pretty incredible based on that first song. And I've already heard Eden, and I apparently like the song. So, yeah, next track, Eden. You know shit's getting serious when the snare wire turns off. I think it might have been turned off on the last song as well. Lots of focus on the percussion. The drums have a very otherworldly, menacing presence throughout this, on the previous song as well. Acoustic guitar, I wasn't expecting that. I think one of my favorite things about this band is they of course started off as a synth pop band, and the way they're still weaving in the synthetic elements here to kind of elevate it beyond just being post-rock and jazz rock. Like right here, dude. Yeah, they also do such a good job of playing with your emotions. Not even playing with your emotions. They're just able to draw out so much, insanely powerful feelings, so many insanely powerful feelings. Because, again, the progressions, the way the instrumentals evolve and change throughout the songs, the way they build all of these layers on top of each other, it's just so overwhelming. It's so subtly sinister. Interesting that the last song and this one, they both end with minute-long tags at the end. Oh yeah, definitely. This feels where Laughingstock felt very, I don't know, it felt otherworldly, heavenly music, which sounds pretentious as hell. But it felt like it was meant to be this otherworldly experience. This feels a lot more human. It feels a lot more primal at points. It feels like it's a lot more focused on the rock than the jazz as well, which is fascinating. This is a very similar album to Laughingstock up to this point, but it's subtle differences like the more human aspect, like it being more focused on rock, the synths having a little bit more of a presence here as well, that make it stand out and make it feel just as rewarding of an experience up to this point. This shit is incredible, dude. I went into this knowing I'd love it, and look at that, I'm loving it. What a surprise. That is a high 9 for me. We're talking 9.7, 9.8 out of 10 range. That's fucking stunning. That song was stunning. So many incredible peaks and rises on that track that legit gave me that same emotional swell that I got re-listening to Laughingstock earlier, dude. That gave me the same feelings that even the best song on that album, Ascension Day, did. That was magnificent. That is the type of shit that were I to not have a camera in front of me right now, I would be crying like a little bitch to that song. It's that fucking good. It's that good. 2 songs in and I can already say this album is looking like it's going to be on that same level of quality, dude. This is mind-blowing. Next song, Desire. Is it synth or organ? I'm gonna guess it's a synth. I would assume it's a synth. I've also noticed that this album is very rhythmically focused. Where the last album kind of revels in the abstract a lot of the time, this is very, very rhythm-based. Yeah, definitely some parts that do feel ambient on here as well. Particularly on the first song. The first song had its moments where it felt pretty ambient, but outside of that, this felt very rhythm-based. I'm getting distracted by this ant. It's just crawling around my desk. I don't know what it's doing. Whoa. You can't just throw that at me. Holy shit. What was that? I have no word. That took me so off guard. Is that an upright bass? Sound like they were using an upright bass there. Oh, and contrasting that super heavy explosive moment with this synth that sounds like fucking choir vocals. These big, thick toms slowly creeping their way in. Whoa. Oh, damn. Interesting. I've not really spoken about the lyrics up to this point. This song is lyrically really fascinating. Firstly, that's the best song so far. That shit was mind-blowing in every way. Firstly, 10. Easy 10. Get the score out of the way, that song's a 10. I shit you not, were I to not be streaming, that song would probably make me cry. And that's not a joke. There were points in there where I was literally like choking up because it was just that overwhelming emotionally. When it got to that explosive bit, it caught me so off guard. It was so heavy, it was so intense. There were so many different layers that I was trying to focus on at once. It literally broke my brain. I didn't have words to describe what I had just heard, and I still don't. So many fascinating layers of percussion. You got shakers, you got a washboard. There was cowbell in there, a drum kit, sounded like maybe even some orchestral drums being used, maybe like a timpani or something like that. It is literally one of the heaviest sections of a song I have heard. And it doesn't even need to be super distorted, it's just that well built up. They removed all calendars, diaries, watches and clocks from the studio, put a black cloth all over the windows and doors. Oh my god. God, depriving yourself of any knowledge of what time it is or what day it is, damn. That's fucking intense. Wow. Yeah, Desire is the best song so far. That is, yeah. I'm putting that on the intro playlist as well. I'm fucking, look, I could sit here and try and wrap my brain around this song, or I could just say it's a 10 and move on, which I'm gonna do because it's gonna take me forever to try and talk about that track. Next song, Inheritance. And by that, I mean Spotify doesn't want to play the song. Oh, wait, no, it just starts off silent. 13 seconds of silence at the start of a song is interesting. It's best to be listened to in the dark with headphones. It's a lot darker in this room than the camera would make it seem. It's actually pretty dark in here. It's just the camera is way overexposed. I need black walls. Nah, I like the white walls. Makes me feel like I'm in a nut house. Man, the bass. Holy shit. Okay. Inheritance is the most subtle statement on the album up to this point. It's the shortest song on the entire project. And it's my personal least favorite up to this point. But by, like, the tiniest margin imaginable. I am still feeling like a solid 9 on that, like a 9.4 or a 9.5. That song is still, despite the fact that it's a lot more abstract than everything else, despite the fact that it's a way more subtle than everything else, it feels like a necessary cooldown after Desire. It feels like kind of a direct response to how overwhelming and how bombastic that song was. Kind of having one in here that is that slow, that takes that much time. Not even to get to any rise. That song doesn't really have any rises. It's just a consistent, smooth, very easy to get lost in atmospheric track that is more focused on, again, setting you into an environment than it is having these overwhelming moments of tension. And I appreciate that. Again, it does make for the song that I feel like is the least impressive of the bunch, but it's the least impressive of an insanely impressive bunch, so it's not even really that bad. So far, it's probably the one I'd be drawn to returning to the least. But hey, there's not been any bad songs on the album up to this point, man. This shit's like just as good as Laughingstock. We are down to the final 2 already. Next up, we have I Believe in You. By the way, I fucking speed ran this recorded. I've only been recording for like 38 minutes. We're already almost done with this album. Yeah, that sounds so intense. Jesus, what a setting to put yourself in for recording an album. It's just so immersive, dude. Again, they do such a good job at combining the synthetic elements in here. Like, they feel like they just add to how desolate and how somber the atmosphere of this is. Nice. Yeah, that song had a very hypnotic, entrancing feel to it, especially in the back half. Yeah, it felt like it was very focused on sort of just capturing you within the world that this song is building. That shit was actually entrancing. It was just, again, doing the post-rock thing of just the same instrumental being repeated again and again and again to the point where it's mind-numbing. The song is about a heroin addict as well, yeah, so it would make sense if it's meant to be, you know, having your mind destroyed by drugs, having something that is just that. I don't want to use the word monotonous. I mean monotonous in a good way. It's representative of the cycle that he's in with the drugs that he's taking. And again, it's just beating the same idea into your head again and again and again. Persistent. There you go. Persistent's a better word. The entire song is one final plea from Mark to Ed to give up heroin and to live with himself. Yeah, this shit is a lot more human. Oh, really? Damn, that makes this shit so much more haunting as well. Yeah, that one's another 10 for me. God, what a fucking gut punch of a song. So entrancing, so hypnotic, so just subtle, so easy on the ears. But again, it's the messaging, the way it's put across here in a way that is just so beaten down, that is so hopeless. Man, that shit, that hits. We're at the final song already. I kind of can't believe that we're already here. I've only been recording for like 45 minutes. We have fucking plowed through this album. Final track, Wealth. Bringing back the upright bass, nice. Yeah, since that's such a nice touch. Ooh.
Take my freedom, forgive
I love that they're leaning into the ambience here. I don't know if this is intentional, but the fact that the song's in 3 kind of makes it feel like a slow dance as well. But like a very, very slow dance. I also really appreciate how long this outro is. It feels like it's not only giving you time to process and soak in the song, it feels like it's like giving you time to soak in the entire album. This is what, a 3.5 minute ambient outro. It's a very fitting way to send off this album. I think this fade out works really well as well. You know, I'm like the #1 fade out hater, and I think that the fade out is really nice here. What a way to close things. Yeah, that was fucking fantastic. Having a song that is that slow, that is that empty, if that makes sense. It's not like empty in terms of like the mix or in terms of the instrumental or anything like that. It just feels emotionally drained. And having that be the way that you close off your album is fascinating, especially considering that a lot of these songs have been very rhythmically focused. Having one that it just feels almost entirely ambient. It's just the slowest 3/4 progression ever. That is so strange. I love it though. I love that as a choice because it makes the rest of the album feel so much larger by comparison. If that makes sense, it makes it feel like such a monumental journey, and then the reward at the end is having a song that is just so soft, so easy to just get lost in and doesn't have too much to focus on. And you even get like the 3.5 minute tag at the end, which is just this synth playing this very ambient instrumental with just little bits and pieces being thrown in here, like some glitchy noises, a little bit of upright bass, some guitar being thrown in there as well. It's a stunning way to finish this. It is a hell of a statement to close this album on. An ambitious one as well. Yeah, I am in awe at that final song. That is a solid to high 9 for me. Like, again, like another 9.7, 9.8. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Laughing Stock. Sorry, not Laughing Stock. That was Spirit of Eden by Talk Talk. I went into this thing with very high expectations. Those expectations were met. There was not... I usually go into albums worried, being like, oh, it's not going to live up to the hype. I knew this was going to live up to the hype. There was not a single part of me that was like, oh, this album, what if it isn't as good as Laughing Stock? It is. It really is. They just created two back-to-back post-rock masterpieces with these two albums. They are so similar, yet polar opposites at the same time. One, Spirit of Eden, is this very rhythmically focused, very human, very... It feels so desolate and isolated, whereas Laughing Stock, it's a lot more immediate. It's a lot more overwhelming. It feels like the songs are more than just human experience. It feels like they're meant to be on a much larger, more panoramic scale. And both of the albums play off of each other so well in that regard. I did them in the wrong order? I don't think so. The order that I listen to these in hasn't really affected my feelings at all. I think that both of these albums can be listened to in any context and still be just as mind-boggling, just as emotionally devastating, just as instrumentally stunning as well. I am in awe that this album is as strong as it is because, man, the fact that they were able to, again, put out these two albums back to back is seriously nothing short of, like, a fucking miracle. That is ridiculous, dude. Yeah, I do think the highs of Laughing Stock are a bit higher. Will say, of the two albums, Laughing Stock is my favorite. Like, Laughing Stock is a top 20 album of all time for me. This is going to take, I think, a little bit more time and some more re-listens to get to the point of being a 10 out of 10, if it even will. But again, this is seriously just such a fascinating, entrancing listen that I feel like when listening to just casually, I am going to find myself picking up on so much more shit that's only going to make me enjoy this and appreciate this even more. This album, for me, is a 9.8. It is just a step below a 10. It is basically the same level as Laughing Stock, dude. Oh, 1998, yeah, it's fucking shocking that this came out in 1998. That's insane. Let's be real here. This Laughing Stock just feels like this album, but that tiny, tiny, tiny bit more refined. the tiniest, littlest, most insignificant slither more refined. And the reason I think that I prefer Laughingstock isn't for any actual quality reasons, it's just that I prefer the much larger scale of that album. And honestly, listening to these, I can see myself like listening to these albums back to back. Like if I'm sitting down doing a music listening session while maybe like playing some games in the background or something, these two back to back would probably go so hard, probably make an incredible double album, to be honest. The highest 9 I can give. Incredible, stunning, otherworldly. This is exactly what I want out of a post-rock album. Incredible shit. Seriously incredible shit. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this album down below. How does it compare to other Talk Talk albums for you? Let me know what other albums you'd like to see me listen to in the future. Going to be doing more Talk Talk albums down the road as well. Links in the description to my Discord, my album of the year, my Twitter, and my other channels. Check those out if you haven't. Like and sub if you haven't as well. We are now on our way to 3K. And I'll see you all whenever I next stream or upload. Bye bye.